Good evening, everyone. We appreciate you taking the time to be on our business webinar tonight. It's great to be able to look at this little control panel that I've got and see the number of attendees ticking higher and higher. We're approaching 100, and I know that we had close to 200 registered, so that's a fantastic turnout. So we really appreciate you making the effort and the time on a Wednesday night for this business webinar. We've got 3 fantastic guest speakers addressing you tonight, as you know. And just to let you know, this business webinar follows on from our business training event that we had last Saturday in Warwick, where we were very privileged to have Eric and Kati Gammels, our Emerald executives, come over from Finland and train on some of those key fundamentals of building a business for anyone who really wants to earn a residual income. Now, this webinar also precedes our next business training day, which again is in Warwick at the Hilton Warwick on the 28th of this month, where we will launch a new business presentation, which is very much focused on anyone, again, who wants to build a business, who wants to earn a really fantastic income. We've been working on this for some time now. We're going to train on some other key principles as well. This really highlights the focus that we've got just at the moment on the opportunity and the financial rewards that come with it. So it's my privilege and pleasure to be able to hand over some time now to our Pearl executive based in the UK, Terry Rigby, who's done a fantastic job of organising the speakers and this webinar tonight, and she'll introduce the different speakers that we have. So Terry, over to you.
Well, thank you, Rob, and hello to everybody. I know this is a UK call, but we have people from all over the world on this call. So welcome, those of you from Europe and also from the US. So I want to kick it off by saying I've been in network marketing most of my adult life, and I've never, ever come across the opportunity that we have today with Synergy Worldwide. But you don't have to take my word for it, because tonight we've got 3 fantastic men on the call who've got different backgrounds and different experiences. But they all feel that network marketing is not only the industry to embrace, but how Synergy Worldwide is certainly a company to take seriously. So we're going to hear from the founder of Synergy Worldwide, Dan Higginson, also from Rudy Pedrosa, who saw the opportunity a few years ago and really has built a very significant business. But we're going to start with Paul Hornsey-Pennell. Now, a little bit about Paul. Paul is an author, a public speaker, a coach. He's been coaching, connective coaching for 25 years. He's coached many businesses, from large multinationals to medium-sized businesses. He's also been very involved in sport and sport coaching. He's coached the English Premier League. He's actually coached over 21 English internationals, stars in athletics and cycling. But Paul has a book called Surfing the Techno Tsunami, and this explores the work from home model, taking over from many jobs as we know them. So I'd like to introduce you to Paul now, who's going to tell us a little bit about, if someone's out there looking for a job, should they really be changing that job or changing career? What have you got to say, Paul?
Thanks, Mary. Yeah, without a doubt they should. Technology and change have always fascinated me. I was talking about it on courses that I was running and seminars pre-internet, would you believe? And there's no doubt that we're now in a new era. Technology is bringing unprecedented change, and with it, unprecedented opportunities. There's never been a time in our history where there are so many opportunities for so many people. Now, the key here at this time is that those who are going to benefit will be those who actually anticipate these changes and get ahead of the curve. So I'm going to give you some information which some people are going to find really quite shocking. But in 2016, I heard 2 key speeches. One was given by Mark Carney, who's the governor of the Bank of England, and the other was given by then President Barack Obama. And Mark Carney's, in some senses, was the most shocking. He came out with a statement saying it was all about, both of them were about technology and the impact it's going to have. And his opening statement was that every technological revolution mercilessly destroys jobs. Now, get a load of the figures that he was coming out with. He is estimating, the Bank of England are estimating that up to 15 million jobs in the UK are at risk of getting wiped out. Now, given we've got a workforce of about 31 million, we're talking about just under 50%. Go over to the United States. Barack Obama was giving a similar speech to Congress, and they didn't give numbers, they gave percentages. And to give you some kind of perspective, the Great Recession of the 1930s, their unemployment levels just under 25%, 24.75%, which was a near disaster. So get this. So there's this group that is called the American Association of Advancement of Science. These are the guys that know all about technology. They are estimating that unemployment in the United States could reach levels of 50%. But the White House Council of Economic Advisors, they reckon it could get up to about 62%. Now that's between the UK and USA, that's 120 million jobs. You've also got an organization called the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, that covers about 17 countries last I heard. Their estimate is about 360 million jobs were going to go. Now, all of that is shocking enough, but here's the thing that got my attention, my real attention, was they are all saying the same date. They are all saying that this will take place by, if you're sitting down, 2030. That's under 12 years away from now. So the level of advancement is massive. And that's why I wrote Surfing the Techno Tsunami, because I just felt people have got to know. Now, here's the thing about this. This revolution, and it is a revolution, is different because it's not going to impact just the lower level of society, which is what normally happens. This time, it's everybody. I'm going to give you some examples. So, driving jobs are one of the biggest employing jobs that there is. Self-drive cars are going to wipe that out. In the UK, in the budget, they announced that our roads in the UK are going to be ready for self-drive cars by 2021. Driverless trucks in the States, Uber have a company whereby they've already done testing of delivery of 50,000 cans of Budweiser over 200 miles in a driverless truck. 9 million people are involved in that industry in the United States alone. But here's the interesting thing. The second highest at-risk industry is accountancy. Accountancy, regarded as one of the most secure jobs. Also, you've got solicitors and attorneys that are being challenged by IBM's artificial intelligence. You've got surgeons, whereby robots are replacing surgeons. Surgeons' fees are massive. You've got teachers, financial advisors. If you know anybody or you are a financial advisor, with respect, I would say you've possibly got about 3 years in your job before artificial intelligence just completely takes it over. Bank workers and also traders in the city, any kind of institutional trader, those jobs are going to go. Now, here's the thing: if you're sitting there going, "Whoa, wait a minute, this is just too much. It can't happen that quickly." Resisting this is normal. This poses huge questions. And pretending it's going to happen, isn't going to happen, is also natural. But I wanted to give you some examples. So my book came out end of 2017. Since then, I wrote in that Amazon would open stores without any cash registers. They already have. I estimated that up to about 1 billion jobs worldwide will be lost. In February, Jack Ma, who owns a company called Alibaba, he's saying that about 800 million jobs. Interestingly, he's also saying by 2030. We've got drones replacing factory workers, tens of thousands of jobs in the UK gone at supermarkets around the country. In the United States, retail sectors are just collapsing because they're going online. Banks closing high street branches in the UK, cutting tens of thousands of jobs. And Deutsche Bank in Germany has announced that they're going to cut their workforce by 50%, replacing it with artificial intelligence. It's everywhere. Even got bricklayers being made redundant because robots are now building walls faster, 24/7, no breaks. They're doing it neater without any waste. So it's absolutely everybody. The NHS over here in the UK, the government has announced the NHS direct call centre, or whatever they call it now, is going to be completely replaced by artificial intelligence by 2021. Now, you then look at that. What you've got is that you've got call centres employing 5% of the UK workforce, roughly around 1 million people. If NHS Direct is going to go AI, you can bet your bottom dollar that so will the others. So this is incredible. Also, by the way, the government has budgeted £300 million to spend on robotics. Robotics, surgeon robotics, so that they can then take more and more operations over. So on the one hand, it's like, what is going on? Is this shocking? Yes, it is. But why is this good news for network marketing? You see, the way that we work itself, the way we generate income is being redefined. That's why I'm saying this is a revolution. And what's so interesting about this is that the reason why this is good news is because people's motivation is changing. People are literally sick and tired of working so long for so little, and that is going to get worse as more people are competing for less jobs. The university students are also, they're now expecting that they're going to work until they're 70. My father died when he was 73. So it's kind of like, you know, work until you drop is the new culture. But the good news about that is all about motivation. People are getting more and more fed up, they're in more and more pain, and they're beginning to look elsewhere. But what you've also got is the fact that why this is good for network marketing is tens of millions of people. If these figures are going to be borne out, maybe hundreds of millions of people are going to have to look for something else to do because the job as such is going to go. And a key part of that group of people are going to be the educated, middle class, even the professionals. Mark Carney, again, Governor of the Bank of England, he said the middle classes are going to be hollowed out. Now, here's the thing. The groundwork is already in place. Culturally, things are changing. There's an entrepreneurial revolution going on. All over the place, people are setting up businesses, even kids. It's amazing. But why is network marketing in particular going to experience unprecedented growth? For the very simple reason that out of those millions, tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of people, most of them, I would suggest 80–85% of them, don't have a business idea. They don't know what it means to be entrepreneurial. Well, guess what? You know, they've got a choice. They can either go to college, which is now becoming redundant. They can spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars or pounds on courses learning how to do all this kind of stuff. Or what they can do is that they can get an instant online business, fully stocked, already branded, with people, a group of people who are motivated to train them to succeed in business. And in the UK, for under £200. This is phenomenal. This is absolutely phenomenal. The fact that it then embraces an income earning strategy, royalty-based income, that means that you can create a quality of life is mind-blowing. So here's the thing. Network marketing is also upping its game. There are some old companies that are too long in the tooth, but what you need is you need a parent company that has integrity and it has a theme. Right now, you see a lot of these so-called health companies that are going, oh, I know, let's add essential oils because essential oils seem to be the in thing. That doesn't work. You've got to have a consistent theme. You've then got to have products that are quality products that are also relevant. I don't know if you saw, but yesterday I posted on the BBC on their health section, there's a whole thing going on about the biome. Can't get much more relevant than that. And also you've got to have a training and culture that delivers a professional network marketer. This is the key point. The culture has changed from, you know, you can be a millionaire, you can have a Ferrari in 6 months, to actually people rationally sitting other people down, teaching them how to create over a longer period in a sober, focused, professional manner, how to create a home-based business. So for me, obviously, you know, with regards to this, having come across Synergy, interestingly, through 3 different health practitioners, all talking about the quality of the ingredients, that already ticks some key things in the boxes for me. But there is another aspect as to why network marketing is playing and will play a massive role. There's a big irony that in this day and age of social media, more and more people actually are socially isolated. And one of the things that we need as human beings is that we need community. one of the aspects that people get out of going to work is that they belong to a place. Well, that's all disappearing. With network marketing, it's fine if you're doing everything online like this is amazing, but it is also the interaction between people, between the team, between a sense of belonging that offers a massive, massive social benefit, which so often goes completely unnoticed. There is one final thing. What's needed, and this again is what I talked about in the book. It's interesting. The two groups of entrepreneurs are under 27 years old and under, and 50 and above are the two massive growth areas in entrepreneurialism and home-based businesses. What's needed is a change in education. The astonishing thing is that I would go so far as to say most university education, a lot of school education is already redundant. Talk about that in the book. Again, Jack Ma talks about the fact that why teach students something that a robot and artificial intelligence can already do? Where I believe this is now going is that education is now about creating lifestyle and quality of life. The point of education is not any longer to prepare people for what is increasingly becoming a useless job, but to actually learn how to create a life that is well lived. So that means learning soft skills, communication, educating others, supporting others, coaching, and building and sustaining a business. So for me, the time is absolutely extraordinary with regards to what I know about Synergy and the way that they've modeled the business. See, there's some key indicators there that show you why their thinking is leading edge. And for me, one of them is the fact that they've made this business model so that if you're a practitioner that wants to use these products in your own practice, then you can without building a networking business. So as a networker, it then means that you've got this bridge between people in so-called traditional businesses and those that are in network marketing. That is a fantastic new subtle shift that has occurred that enables a far wider range of people to actually get involved, and eventually I'm sure a large proportion of them will then take up, begin building their own networking company proactively. So to me, with all of that, now is the time to inform the public about what's going on. That's why I wrote the book. But mindset is key. And finally, to be able to inform the public that at last it's truly possible to dream, design, build, and live the life of your dreams. That's why I think we're in the most phenomenal place.
Wow, well, enthusiasm as well, I think. Thank you, Paul. You've certainly got me fired up. Thank you very much for that.
You're most welcome.
And from Spain as well. I think it's all the sunshine that gives you that energy. Well, I'd now like to introduce our second speaker for this evening. It's our founder of Synergy Worldwide, Dan Higginson. And Dan has a wealth of knowledge and experience as a corporate leader, motivator, trainer, and consultant. He was the team leader for the Covey Leadership Center before starting Synergy Worldwide in 1999. So I can't wait to hear Dan. He's there. I thought you were traveling, but you're actually in the office. So over to you, Mr. Higginson.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, everybody that's participated. It's phenomenal information we just heard. I love hearing about the evolution of this business and how, really, you look around America and the accredited courses that are being taught now in network marketing. Gifford Pinchot's talking about how it's going to be an everyday college education courses. It's really fun and it's exciting to see what's going on, but it's an honor privilege to be here. Obviously, being the founder of the company, I'm a little bit more passionate than most. This was not an easy ride, but I just want to share something that I think is vitally important. When I had the opportunity to work for Covey Leadership Center and interview the top 18 business minds in America on a daily basis, monthly basis, we had a digest called Executive Excellence. And one of those contributing authors was a guy by the name of Peter Drucker. And he was just one of many, but he always talked about opportunity in the marketplaces because of a process of convergence of forces previously not together. And as I thought a lot about that, I really looked at Synergy for what it is today. And today, my only goal is to prove to you emphatically that not only is Nature Sunshine and Synergy together one of the most unbelievably strong companies, but indeed, it's a fact that these 5 converging elements that we talk about are all together. Number one, who is this company? Well, Nature Sunshine, I believe, is now, 48 years in business. First company to ever encapsulate an herb. 33 biochemists, scientists, and doctors on staff. Excuse me, I've been corrected. 35 biochemists, scientists, and doctors on staff. The Hughes Center for Innovation and Excellence, we're bringing people off the streets to be part of a clinical study, which I believe we've now finished our 13th clinical trial. When you look at that on 3 different products, our new cardio LDL, I'm sitting here looking at just for, press release of new clinical. We don't even talk about Mystica or Mystify anymore yet. If you look at it against the competition, it's a product that beat every elixir product on the market in every category. Auric comparison, number 1. Anthocyanin, which is your most potent antioxidants, number 1. Total catechins, which is live food value, number 1. Phenolics, number 1. And we could talk on and on and on. We've seen, and everybody knows that for the last 6 years, our ProArginine Plus has been listed as the number 1 tested L-arginine supplement in the world by cardiovascular and scientific experts. It's humbling to me as the founder to be a part of something that is so genuine, so real, so tangible, and to know that what Peter Drucker taught me many, many, many years ago is in fact real. That in fact, we are converging at the opportune time. And I'm just going to tell you something. I'm going to relate this specifically to the United Kingdom and Europe today. And I'm not talking about America, which the timing's never been better. It's like a ground floor opportunity without the associated risk because nobody knows us in America. I'm talking about the United Kingdom and Europe. And here's why. The company's rock solid. You all know that. Here's the secret is you go to Yahoo Finance, you click on NATR, you read all about the public disclosure documents. We're a publicly traded company. We do have 35 biochemists, scientists, doctors. We do have the Hughes Center. Many of you on this call today have toured them. And one of my dear friends, Thaddeus, is here today, and he just toured it. So those are real facts. Number 2, timing in the marketplace. Nobody knows us in the United Kingdom. Nobody knows us in Europe. Yes, we're doing okay. Yes, we're scratching the surface. But for a company that has all 5 converging factors, what does it mean to not have a converging factor? A company may have unbelievable products and a very poor comp plan. That is a converging factor that is a critical element to be missing. A company might have a brilliant compensation plan and mediocre product or Me Too product. A company might be underfunded or overfunded. There's just so many things to bring together the perfect environment and that perfect convergence model. Here's what I love about each marketplace. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. If you look at any company in the UK, any company in Europe, any company in America, Japan, it doesn't matter where you go, that company usually becomes a branded entity when they do $4 million a month or $50 million a year. That's when people start coming and looking for the Terry Rigby's and looking for the Kim Bradleys and saying, hey, I've heard about this product. I understand you are representing it. You become branded. And that's when a company usually goes into branding from 4 million a month to 40 million relatively quickly. Get from 0 to 4 million is what I call pioneering, hard work, dedication, discipline. And that's when you find out who your leaders are and what they're about. Well, guess what, folks? We're in that pioneering episode because it's not a whole of Europe. It is in the United Kingdom. And so the timing in the United Kingdom and Europe has never been better in Synergy's history. So when I look at that, I say, okay, what's the third trend in this converging factor? Well, obviously, it is the trends. Do the trends actually support this business? Well, folks, if it's true that the number 1 killer in the world is cardiovascular disease, if it's true that they're now finding that 90% of all disease starts in the gut, and we're the number 1 company with clinical documentation talking about the gut microbiome called the Purify program. If this is true, if it's not just the founder, Dan Higginson, saying it, but it's true, then I believe you're sitting in front of the greatest trend the world's ever known. Why? People born between 1946 and 1964 were controlling 2/3 of every dollar spent in this country. That's our baby boomers. For the first time in their life, they are hanging on and praying for an extra 10, 15 years of quality life, of health. So they're turning to this natural movement, this holistic movement, medical movement, whatever you want to call it. They're looking for to expand their life. But guess what? Their children, me, Dan Higginson, who just turned 47, is now on fire when it comes to health and equality, looking at things and saying to myself, man, I need to take this really, really seriously. And guess what? My son that's home now, the millennial group that's got strong thumbs and weak hearts, they're not out playing football and soccer and all the things that I did as a child. They're playing games on the computer and games on the TV. It makes me sick. But the reality is, folks, that's why we're now getting reports that they're finding plaque in 9-year-old children. It's simple, folks. Our food, our lack of energy, wasted sources, meaning movement and exercise. And then, of course, where we're going, the trend is a multi-trillion, I didn't say billion, trillion-dollar trend. So when you put all that together and you have a risk-free money-back guarantee like we do that allows you to eat that product, and if you don't like it, return it, it's unfathomable to me that we're in that position to do that, and we are. The next trend is compensation, folks. When you look at the dual linear mega match, the first one ever written in 1999, when we looked at this and studied the top 27 companies that hit 100 million annually and stayed on that list 10 years or longer, and eliminated 5 of them, and then just study the comp plan. You know, you got the unilevel, the wide for wealth and deep for security. You've got the binary, which I was anti. You've got all these different programs, right? Forced matrices, which are illegal. What we created is the first ever dual linear, which allows somebody to maybe get lucky in this industry, to maybe have a neighbor that's a hard worker and earn up to $5,000 US a month in mega match on one leg. Are you kidding me? But to be able to have unlimited mega match potential, to be able to go sponsor 2 people you love, care, in a dorm for the first time, sit down with them and partner with them, not 8 levels deep, for life, and say to them, what are your dreams, goals, and aspirations? And let me help you get there, because you're my business partner for the first time in this industry, because I match your basic commissions. So whatever level of success you want to achieve, my job is to serve you. Really? Wow. Isn't that something? We've been teaching that for years, folks. We've been told that you get in network marketing, you get on the treadmill, you run. You jump off the treadmill and you hope that income doesn't come down, right? Will Martin said it best. One of my dearest friends from London, England. He said, Dan, work, pay. Work, pay. And then we all know the final line is work, pay, right? The reality is that's reality. You know, you look at my friend Diane Levitt, you look at my friends all across this globe that have been able to work really, really, really hard, and maybe take some time off to address a health issue or a marital issue, or to go and be able to do whatever and have your income rise while you're not participating because of the mega match. That's called freedom, folks. This company has all 5 converging factors. Our company is rock solid. The timing in the marketplace is perfect. Our products are second to none, rock solid. What is it, 6-7 years now in the PDR? Is the #1 tested L-arginine supplement addressing the #1 killer manufactured by the #1 company, Nature's Sunshine. That's not Dan Higginson saying. These are words that have been given. And I sit here and I think to myself, I pinch myself. I say, is this real? I wake up thinking I'm dreaming each day. And all we got to do is get out there and be messengers and teach people how to live, love, learn, and leave a legacy. Folks, if you want to live like you're dying, if you want to love the same, learn, grow, and develop, what does that mean? We don't see differences in colors of skin. We don't see differences in religious preferences or backgrounds. We don't see differences in rich and poor, educated or non-educated. We see a synergy team and family member that wants to change the world one person at a time. And guess what? That's the individual, no matter what walk of life they come from, that Dan Higginson wants to run with. Why? Because that's the person we're going to talk about 3 decades from now, like we are Will Martin, who passed away and left a huge legacy on each and every one of our lives. That's what synergy is. So if you can see this as the company rock solid, the timing in the marketplace is perfect, the product are second to none, the trends support it, and a compensation plan that can set you free, and you understand that the United Kingdom and Europe is wide open, and you really get it, and you're willing to put time, effort, and energy and treat this as a business, no different than your pizzeria or your massage therapy store or your personal training store, but really treat this as a business. And you're willing to get out there in the next 72 hours, motivate, train, and inspire somebody, in 14 days, get them a result, in 90 days, get them income, you're going to win at the highest level. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody. I'll turn it back to you.
That's great. Thank you, Dan. I wish I'd recruited you into my business. Again, fantastic enthusiasm there. Thank you. So to our final speaker tonight, Rudy Pedrosa, all the way in Seattle. Rudy is a presidential executive with Synergy Worldwide. That means he's turning over a minimum of $800,000 a month. But you know what? Rudy started exactly the same as you and I as a team member. So Rudy, was it worth it?
Absolutely, Terry. Thanks so much, Paul. Thanks, Terry, Dan, for sharing those wonderful comments and words. You know, I can't help but it's been almost 17 years now since I started this amazing company with Synergy Worldwide, but I've been in the industry for over 24 years. And I think back to the beginning and why I decided to get started. And the fact of the matter is I got started because I wanted a certain lifestyle. And I was in college at the time when I got introduced to this amazing industry called network marketing, an industry that really, its time has come. But I was in college, and I was in college playing baseball. And I thought back when I went to my first meeting, I wanted to join that first company. And I thought back recently why I wanted to do that. And really it was about the lifestyle to provide. So I was playing baseball in college because I thought someday I'd sign a major league contract. If I signed that major league contract, that would mean a ton of money for me. And ultimately what that would mean is that I could go where I wanted to go, live where I wanted to live, drive the car I wanted, take family on vacations, give to the charities I want. Really, it meant a lifestyle. And what lifestyle means to me is simply two things, is that we all know people with plenty of money, but they absolutely have no time because they're on the treadmill constantly trying to continue to have that income come in, right? And we all know people who have no money, but they have a ton of time. So what I'm after is having the money and the time. So when you have both of those, and there's very, very few industries that can provide that for you. Network marketing was one of those that could provide that lifestyle. So not only could you create an income, but you could create the time to enjoy that. And we've done that. I've got a business partner, Paul Vlad. We've been involved, as I said, with Synergy for 17 years, and it's been an absolutely amazing ride. Dan spoke about, can you someday get off the treadmill with the Synergy comp plan? I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. There's a handful of things that you need to do, and most companies, you got to shoot through 5 or 6 different hoops to get that check. At Synergy Worldwide, just make sure you're on auto ship. You never miss an auto ship. That comes in every single month. Your check will come in. So I want to kind of speak to a little bit on what Paul was talking about how the entrepreneur, how things have changed and how the job market has changed for everyone. And it absolutely has. Those jobs and manufacturing jobs and those things like that, they're not coming back. Just recently, Amazon opened up a grocery store here, once where you had box boys who were being fed that way, the clerks, etc., people servicing you. Those people are gone now. And people are losing jobs. So more than ever before, people are looking for opportunity. They're looking at it with different eyes and listening to you differently. I want you to know, over the next 10 years, over the next decade, there's going to be over 200 million people who are going to join this amazing industry of network marketing. Okay? Every 10 seconds, that means someone is joining a network marketing business. And the question is, are they joining your business? Are you out there sharing this day in and day out and being consistent? That means 150,000 people a week are joining a network marketing company somewhere around this world. Why not you? Why not you? If you look at Synergy, what we have, they should all be coming here with droves, without a doubt. The industry itself is over a $185 billion industry. You're going to allow yourself to position yourself in front of that economic wave. Dan spoke about the nutrition wave and health and wellness. It is the next $1 trillion industry, let alone this industry where you're going to have over 200 million people over the next decade joining a network marketing company. Why not with you? So it's really an industry that's time has come. It's one of the few industries where you can really pull yourself up in the bootstraps with 200 pounds or $500 in the U.S. market to start your business and launch yourself towards freedom. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's up to you. You've got to decide. You've got to make a decision that, you know what, this is my life. I get one chance at this. Last time I checked, I'm not sure if we come back or not. But all I know is I'm going to play full out. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And one of the few industries and one of the few companies in the industry, so is really Synergy Worldwide that will provide that for you. Everything is lined up perfectly from product to compensation plan to the trend. So the only question for you is is it the right time for you? Because what's not on trial here, Synergy Worldwide is not on trial. We have a proven track record. What's on trial is the right time for you. And you have to decide. The only person you're truly destined to become is the person you decide to become. My hope for you is you get started. My hope for you is you talk to the person who invited you on this webinar tonight and you get your questions answered. They've thought enough of you to invite you on this webinar. Think enough of them. Let them know where you stand. So I'm looking forward to meeting you sometime in the next Synergy event. Thanks so much, Terry, and God bless.
Well, thank you, Rudy, and thank you to all our speakers this evening. We heard from Paul Hornsey-Pennell, who told us about the millions of people looking for home-based businesses out there. We heard from our founder, Dan Higginson, who talked of all the converging factors, and especially here in the UK and also in Europe, how Synergy is really focusing its efforts over the next few years. And then Rudy, who talked about time freedom and the lifestyle that so many of us dream of. So I hope you've enjoyed our Synergy webinar this evening. We'll be having another one next month, so look out on the blog. And we've got our next meeting on the 28th of April here in Warwick. So thank you for listening, everyone, and thank you to everyone who participated, including Taylor at Synergy Worldwide for the background work. Thank you very much.